let's say last Saturday, the outcome, it didn't go as just how we wanted it to. But, you must have been proud of the players on Saturday night because they gave their all against Aberdeen, but they just came up short.
Yeah, firstly, let's congratulate Jordan Layden and the Aberdeen Lynx on their title win. It was well deserved. They led the league for the majority of the season. We pushed them hard. We did a lot of work, to climb the table, but ultimately just fell a spot short. So, congratulations, Jordan and Aberdeen. It was a tough league to win with double the amount of games this year as opposed to previous SNL seasons, and it's a good achievement for the club. The game itself, yeah, I can't really fault it. It was a great game of hockey. Two or three of the guys that I spoke to after the game, they all said it was probably the fastest game of the season that they played in. It was played at a good speed. It was competitive. A lot of people seem to think that both teams were nervous. I don't think that's the case. I think both teams were played some really good hockey from start to finish. So yeah, can't fault the guys on another night. It could have went our way, but it didn't, and such is life. We move on.
During the game itself, we got off to a great start. Chad scored, I think, maybe the third or fourth minute. But do you feel, I felt Aberdeen, probably had the better in the first period. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they probably did because we took three minor penalties in the first period. Two of them at least I thought were pretty soft calls, but nothing we can do about that. So yeah, we struggled to get a little bit of momentum with the three penalties that we took. So yeah, Aberdeen probably shaded the first period, even though it was 1-1. Yeah.
In the second period, I thought we came a lot more into it. I thought we dominated a lot more of that period. We had good puck possession in their zone, but we did lose a short-handed goal. That's a few times in recent games that we have done this. Is that something you're looking into?
It was more just an unfortunate bounce off the boards that kind of took our guy on the blue line a little bit off guard. It came off at a slightly funny angle and it caused a breakaway. Again, these things happen, unfortunately. After the Aberdeen goal to go 2-1 up, I thought we had a great second period. I thought we dominated the last 10-12 minutes of that period at least. And we got a reward. I think Joel scored with maybe the last minute, 40 odd seconds to go or something like that. And it was one of those things. It was unfortunate that the buzzer went for the end of the second period because I think potentially we had another goal in us if that period was another couple of minutes longer, which could have changed the complexion of the third. But again, it's hindsight. It didn't happen that way. So, but yeah, we did. We had a great second period.
In the final period, it was really all or nothing. Win it, we had to go for it, and obviously Aberdeen were going for it as well. I felt though like Aberdeen they did come out well in the third period, and they kind of limited their chances. I think I remind we only had really one good chance maybe through Archie. Is that right?
I think yeah, Archie had a breakaway with 5 or 6 minutes to go. I think the difference between the two teams in the third period was Aberdeen didn't have to win the game. They just didn't. They didn't want. They couldn't concede a goal. We had to try and find the goal. That was the difficult part. Again, we took a couple of penalties in the third period that were a little bit needless. And again, that kind of killed a little bit of momentum that we had because I thought we started the third period quite well. And yeah, it was just one of those things. We just couldn't go and we just couldn't get that third goal that we were craving.
And it was a strange situation, wasn't it? With a minute left or so to play, we're 2-2. A normal game, you'd be going to overtime. You'd be looking to go into overtime, but we had to pull Jambo, didn't we? Because we had to win it in regulation.
Yeah, it's a slightly unique situation. It doesn't happen very often, but yeah, we had to win in regulation, so we had to pull Craig. I tried to get Craig out the net with about a minute and a half to go, but the puck was kind of pinballing all over the place. I think when we finally did get him out, about the 50-second mark, there was a whistle straight away and a face-off in the neutral zone, so we had to put him back in again. And yeah, we just didn't seem to get that little bit of luck that we needed, or that little bit of bounce that we were looking for. And Aberdeen scored the empty netter with 9 seconds to go.
So we spoke a few times since, obviously, the game on Saturday, and I think we both agree that the league probably wasn't lost on Saturday night. The damage was done probably in previous weeks. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you look back over the season and you think of the two home games against the Tigers and the Comets where we couldn't, grind out a win in either of those two games. That ultimately hurt us. I've mentioned a couple of times the Kilmarnock game at home that we lost earlier in the season. I had a feeling that was going to come back and bite us somewhere along the line. You look at the first game of the season we played in Kirkcaldy as well, where we went down 4-1 and we weren't ready for that game at all. All these games probably contribute a little bit, but let's not make excuses. We had chances to close it out or chances to win games and we didn't at the business end of the season, which was a little bit disappointing.
And then on Sunday night, we came back here to Murrayfield, and you got a great response for the players. We won 9-0 over North there. And it was in front of another, good home support. Was that something you spoke to the guys about before the game? Because, the last thing you're wanting is in a game like that, they're going out flat and there's no energy.
Yeah, those games are always difficult. So the two things I kind of said to the guys in the room before the game was, one, we got to try and, build some momentum going into the playoffs, which we did by winning 9-0. And then we also reminded them that there was going to be a good, 800 or 900 people here that had paid to watch a game of hockey. And we couldn't just turn up and go through the motions. And we got a good response. North Ayr have struggled this year. They were a little bit weak, but I thought we had a pretty solid game from start to finish.
And it turned out a good night. There was 9 different scorers, and a lot of minutes for the younger guys in the team. Reece scored his first senior goal. Cammy got a couple of assists, and young Scott Mackay, he contributed as well. And then obviously Harry picked up a shot out as well.
Yeah, and like we've said a couple of times this year, that I've been wanting to get these guys on the bench or on the ice more often than they'd like, and more often than I'd like as well. But every game that we've played since November has been, they've been must-win games. They've been tight games. There's not been much in them, and we've had to make sure we were getting points throughout the season to climb the table like we did. So unfortunately, we've not been able to get the likes of Harry, Cammy, Reece, and Scott and guys like that in the lineup as much as we like. So it was a good chance for them to get some ice time and show what they could do.
So Lynch, a second place finish in the league overall. Of course, we wanted to win it, but for the start of the season, we had a few hurdles that we had to get over. You must be reasonably satisfied.
Maybe I'll be reasonably satisfied, in 2 or 3 weeks once the season's finished and we sit back and think about what we've done and what we've achieved. But we said at the start of the season that you don't play for second place. Second's where we've come, so no, not satisfied. No.
So it's playoff time now, Lynch. The slate's wiped clean, and whoever turns up, basically over a 4-game series, it takes that trophy. Are you confident that the guys can bounce back and we can progress in this tournament?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We want to finish the season on a high, and we want to try and pick up some silverware. We got a tough game against Kilmarnock, tough couple of games against Kilmarnock. They're a good team, and we've underestimated them a couple of times. And we've paid the price once and almost paid the price a second time. So we've got to make sure we're ready to go. We've got to make sure we're ready to fight in Kilmarnock on Saturday, because it's a difficult place to go, like we've documented before. But yeah, we're still a confident team. We still believe we can get to the Final Four, and we still believe that once we get there, we can win the playoffs at the end of the season.
Well, listen, good luck on Saturday down in Kilmarnock, and hopefully we can grab a wee lead to bring back home a week on Saturday.
That'd be nice. Okay, cheers, Easty.
Well, joined by Ross Dalgleish and Craig Chalmers. Dags, a 3-2 loss up in Aberdeen, handed the Lynx the league title on Saturday night. How tough was that? Obviously losing the game, but watching them, celebrating their victory in front of us as well. It must be tough.
I don't think anybody enjoys sitting and watching somebody else celebrating, but the whole point in playing sport is that there's a winner and a loser, and sometimes you're going to win and it's brilliant, and sometimes you lose and it sucks.
And Chambo, the game itself, for a neutral, it was a great game, I'm sure, to watch, but both sets of fans, it was nerve-wracking. I know myself, being up at the game, it was, a kind of edge of the seat stuff. Does that come into it for you guys when you are playing? Do you feel that tension that's in the building?
Probably certainly for the first couple of shifts, or for a goal, the first couple of shots on the ice, just until you get settled into the game. But it's probably more so for the younger guys who've never been in that position before. I mean, it was a busy rink up there. It was quite a loud environment when the Aberdeen fans were getting into it, so it's probably quite intimidating for somebody like that.
And you had a solid performance in the game. You picked up the man of the match, and you were giving us a chance to win that game. I know that means nothing to you now. You would have preferred to have had the big prize at the end of the game, but we got a great start. We went up 1-0. Chad scored early on, but I felt after that, the Lynx did put us under a bit of pressure in that first period, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they've probably seen the goal go in, and they've hit the panic button and started thinking we need to work here, and they did. They come back, and there was periods where they had trapped us in their end, and they were really working hard to get the goal back. So I think it was a close game, but they turned up ready for the game just as well as we did.
And the second period, I thought we were a lot more in control, Dags, in the second period with a lot of puck possession, and but although we did lose a short-handed goal, but Joel got us back level just towards a minute left, I think it was. The final period, it was definitely there for either team to take, I felt as well, but I did feel that Aberdeen limited their chances. Would you agree to that?
In the third period, yeah, I think both teams played really well in the third period. There was a winner or a loser to be picked in the third period. Everybody was pretty tired by that point and given their all, but there was nothing to split between the two teams at the end. We obviously had to push for a goal because we needed that extra point. But yeah, I think both teams, there was a big build up to that game as well. Both teams had the opportunity to win the whole thing pretty much 3 times each by the last game. So it came out the last period, which was pretty good. But yeah, we just unfortunately couldn't get that one goal we needed.
And Chambo, you were pulled with about a minute left or so. It was at 2-2, which it's a strange situation, as we had to win in regulation time. You ever played in a game like that before, that you've been pulled and we're actually not losing the game?
I don't think I have. Certainly not that close to the end league result. But to come down to the last minute of the last period of the last game, especially for Aberdeen, it was a strange one. But unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes.
And that was it. It wasn't to be for us this season, and obviously congratulations to Aberdeen on winning the title. But we were back home on Sunday night, and we came away with a 9-0 victory over North Ayr. Dag's obviously been a player, but assistant coach as well. You must have been happy with the response, especially in a nothing game,
Yeah, I think that it was a good response. Nobody was, everybody reacted the right way professionally, which is the way they wanted to work. Harry obviously played and got a shutout for him. It was good. Reece played, got a goal. It was good for him. And then for us as well, we struggled to score in the last few games, and we got 9 goals. So that's something positive to take forward.
And Chambo, obviously the league's now gone, but we'll be back next season and we'll be looking to try and take that title off of Aberdeen. It's playoff time now. There's no time for us to feel sorry for ourselves, is there?
No, I think what's happened's happened. We've just got to put that behind us now and probably work a bit harder to make sure we get better results in the playoffs, and we'll get a bit of celebrations at the end of the season for us.
There's 2 tough games coming up against Kilmarnock, Dags. A team that a lot of speed, and they've caused us a few problems this year, both down in Kilmarnock and up here. What do we need to do to be successful in this wee short quarter-final series?
We have to make sure we're competitive right from the very start. We need to play the way we played against North Ayr on Saturday. It's a bit of it's a considerably different opposition, but we still need to play that free-flowing game. We're willing to create chances and take our chances, and it's going to be a high-scoring series. They score goals, they just concede goals too. So yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring series. We just make sure we score our goals and take our chances when we can. But looking forward to the next 2 games.
And just finally, Chambo, we want to be at that playoff final weekend. We want to finish the season on a high. You and the guys, you must be looking forward to just starting afresh, putting the league aside, and going into the playoffs and obviously going for another trophy.
Yeah, I think it was a disappointing end to the league there. Although we did come second in our first season, we always wanted to get that first spot, especially since we kind of missed out. You'd see on a couple of chances to win it. So if we can push to get another trophy, that would be what we want to do. So.
Brilliant. Well, cheers lads, and all the best for Saturday down in Kilmarnock.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.